We're back after a brief break. You're watching South Texas Crossfire with your host, Attorney Joe Flores. Special thanks to the Lopez family and our sponsors, River City Hospice. 882-5900, hope, dignity, and love. It's got to be hospice. If you have someone with Alzheimer's, lung problems, cancer, anything like that, or you just want more information on hospice, it's not what you think. Call 882-5900 and Vasquez Flores Home Health, 881-9922. Want an exciting career helping people? Start out in the healthcare field. Doesn't matter if you have training or not. Call them, 881-9922. And with us, our special guest, Nora Longoria, you guessed it, candidate for the 13th Court of Appeals, Place 2. Welcome back. How are you?
I'm doing real well, Joe. Thank you.
Okay. Now let's cut to the chase. We talked about your background. You went to UT, A&M. You've done defense counsel, plaintiff counsel. You've defended the downtrodden, major corporations. Okay, so you've seen it from both sides. But now you're campaigning from both sides. One day you're in Hidalgo, the next day you're in Calhoun. Okay, tell us about the campaign trail and all the diverse people you're meeting.
Well, it is a very large cross-section of people. And even within counties, you see different people from all walks of life. And everybody has been so gracious and so open-minded and have listened to me. And one of the messages I try to bring home, and whether it resonates or not, is that with a judicial candidate, it's really not so much about politics. Of course, the Texas system makes you run with one party or the other, but ultimately, at the end of the day, with regard to your judicial candidate, I think a lot, and I'm hearing it from a lot of people, when it comes to judicial races, especially lawyers, they say, I vote for the person, not the party, because I believe in it's very important who our judicial officials are, and I believe in the candidate for whatever reason, and I'm hearing that from a lot of folks. And you know, in some areas there are people who perhaps, you know, what I say, I might be talking to deaf ears, but most of the time everybody's very engaging, very interested. And that stumbling block about you know, the judicial ethics, you cannot talk about how you might rule on something that might come before the court. So sometimes I think people feel, boy, she's being evasive and doesn't want to tell me how she would rule on something. And it's not that I don't want to, it's just that I can't. And you know, how would you like to have a judge that would tell you how something's going to be ruled on before you even have your day in court? So those are some of the things that happen. Ironically enough, when I was a young girl, my dad was a really serious cattle broker, so we had to find, well, he had to find cattle all over the place, and I would tag along. So I've actually been to all of those counties as a child, and so I know a little bit about them historically, and I'm a history buff too, and you know, all the different things that have happened along, and so I have a connection with people in all the 20 counties, and I've found amazing campaign supporters in places I wouldn't think I would. And I think it's just a testament to the great state of Texas and the diversity we have within it, and how people really want to come together to make Texas great again. We're going through a tremendous time of political bipolarization, and I think that they find it exciting that perhaps there's a candidate they could believe in a judicial race that they could maybe all support. And that sounds extremely idealistic, I know. Like I said, I'm not a professional politician, but I go out there and I try to touch everybody because I believe it's important, and I believe in my campaign.
Well, very well said. Look, we're talking about politics, so a lot of these people, as you said, are expecting you to sort of bow down to the, because corporations, whether people know it or not, take the Tea Party, for instance, great people within the Tea Party, but they don't understand many times that corporations like the Koch brothers are financing this. Karl Rove's Crossroads to America are financing this, where these people are saying we want change, but yet again it's say hello to the new boss, same as the old boss, that the corporations are funding this, and much of your campaign dollars that you're raising, sure, some is coming from lawyers because they have a vested interest, truth be told, in the Court of Appeals process, but also you're getting checks from people, grassroots primarily, right? I mean, it's the mom and pops that are writing checks for 50 bucks, 75 bucks, that means life or death for them, and they're still investing in you. So, I mean, How do you balance that between Hidalgo, as I say, and Calhoun and Wharton? I mean, when I tried a case out in Wharton, the bailiff told me, have they offered any money? And I said, why? Because we haven't had a plaintiff verdict out here in 10 years. You see, so down there, I mean, it's unheard of in Hidalgo where you think, and people up there think Hidalgo is like the lottery, which it's not. Things are evolving, just like Jim Wells County, where you think you're going to just, you know, you're not going to just get $1 million from a jury.
Correct.
So let's talk about that a little bit. What would your day-to-day, and what do you anticipate your day-to-day role would be as a 13th Court of Appeal justice?
Well, you know, I anticipate hearing the cases, the oral arguments that are presented before the court. The court is going to a system of everything being filed electronically. It's going to be incorporated. And I anticipate from that, and I hope from that, and if I have anything to do with it, I would love to have that mean that you can get your appellate decisions much quicker, that we will work a hard docket and we'll do our job. There's a tremendous, there's six justices on the court, and they all represent different views, and they all do their job. They work very hard. I would love to join them, and I would anticipate working very hard and being the new one on the bench, working even harder to catch up with the others that are on there and to learn the nuances of how to do the best job possible to move that docket, to get everybody the answers they need as quickly as possible.
Well, I tell people, look, when they come on and they're running, I say, that camera is like you just knocked on a couple of 100,000 doors. And on the internet, it could be potentially millions of doors. If you knocked on that door and looking at that camera and saying, why should we vote for you? I mean, what would one justice difference make? You being on there, how would you make a difference? Why should I even care what judge is on the bench? That doesn't affect me. How do you sell that to people? Because you have to sell yourself as a politician, even though you're not a politician. You are a judicial candidate. But if you knocked on a door and you were asking for the vote, how would you do it? Because we've got a couple of minutes left. I want you to let them know, and the voter out there who's watching know.
Well, when I talk to people, I usually tell them exactly who I am, exactly where I was educated, exactly what I stand for within what I can say under the judicial ethics, and tell them that I intend from the bottom of my heart to do the best job possible. I've always been a very hard worker. I come from the philosophy that my father told me. My father told me, fall in love with what you do. You know, if you are lucky enough to have your profession, fall in love with it, excel in it, do the best you can, and follow the path that God puts in front of you. And I really believe that this is my path and this is my time, and I want to be the next justice of this court. I believe I will be, because we're working hard, we're gaining momentum, and I promise you, if I'm elected to that position, that everybody will receive their day in court, fair and impartial. And I will always be impartial, but never indifferent to the people in the 20 counties I love. I love every county. I've spent time in every county, and I feel like they're all part of me.
Well, I appreciate that, and of course, Diamond Dave has been giving you plugs as we've been speaking, because on the screen has been coming up, of course, NoraLongoria.com, where you can get involved in your campaign. If they want a yard sign, they want to contribute, they want a block walk in all 20 counties that'll be watching this, how can they get a hold of you by phone?
By phone, I have two numbers. My office number, which is 956-631-9112. My cell number is 956-457-3433. I have a website, NoraLongoria.com. Please visit it if you have time, and there is a way to sign up for any sort of participation you may want to take part in the campaign in.
How about friending you on Facebook? Do we have a Facebook
yes,
page?
I have a Facebook page, a personal one, and a political one. I spend a lot more time on the personal one, and but I've made all kinds of great
Join
friends.
the club.
Yes, it's just, you know, we get to visit friends and stuff, and so please visit me, and I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to answer any questions you may have to the extent that I'm able to.
Well, and you've been watching Judge, or soon-to-be Justice, God willing, Nora Longoria for the 13th Court of Appeals, Place 2. Y recuerde que su voto es su voz. Si no vota, no tienen lugar a quejar. So remember that your vote is your voice. Get out there, register to vote. Do it now. This is a great, exciting time to get involved in politics. And people say, it doesn't affect me. Look at your taxes. Every morning, a great friend of mine, Commissioner Joey Gonzalez, said, politics when you get up in the morning and brush your teeth, politics when you go pay taxes on every meal that you eat, politics when you go to the pump, politics when you go to bed at night, because it affects everything, your electricity bill, anything. So get involved, register to vote. It's our process and it's our divine right that we have, and people out there have shed blood for that. So please get out there, register to vote. Again, get involved. Nora Longoria .com is where you can meet her and learn more about her campaign running for the 13th Court of Appeal, Place 2. Thank you, and God bless.